Okay, we've talked about the divider pan and the mini food pan that came with your Ready, Set, Go. But let me show you some other pans that you can get if you join the Perfect Pan Club. Now, a lot of you probably did that when you bought your machine, but if you didn't, you're going to want to, because the first pan you get when you join the club is the whole round, which mimics the base of your Ready, Set, Go, but allows you to take the pan out and turn it upside down. Remember in the infomercial, I made that great pineapple upside down cake, and it's so much easier when you're doing something with a sauce in it or something that needs to be plated like that, that you can take that out and put it in the dishwasher when you're done. Now, there's lots of pans that come to you in the pan club, and you may want a place to store them. Look what I did. I went to the stationery store and I bought this little 7-day letter holder, and instead of setting it like this, I set it like this, and it is the perfect place to hold those pans so they're at your fingertips. And this is probably my favorite, the full round, but there are so many great pans that come with it. When you join the club, you go to the website, ReadySetGo.com, and every couple of weeks they'll send you new pans, and you can keep your cooking ideas fresh, and it makes it so much more fun to get in the kitchen and cook with your Ready, Set, Go. So we're going to come back and start with some breakfast. Okay, we're going to start with breakfast now, and this is one of the great pans. This is the waffle pan. Now, it doesn't make traditional crispy waffles. What it makes are big, fat, light pancakes with lots of room for extra syrup, and I love that. So what we're going to do, I use these little bag mixes like this. Now, this is triple berry, and that's what I've got mixed up today, but there's chocolate chip, there's banana nut, so you can have different kind of pancakes all the time. Now, just mix it up according to the package directions, and first we're going to spray this pan with a little bit of non-stick. Spray it good, and then fill it with your batter. Just follow the directions. There's a recipe on the back for muffins, so of course you can make it into muffins, but if you want to make it into pancakes, you're just going to go ahead and fill it that pan just like so, and we're going to pop it right in there. And again, because remember it's going to rise, you're always going to want to spray the inside of the lid. Like so. Now I've got some extra, and of course I could save that and make more pancakes when this one's done, but let me show you something else, because here's another pan that's great. This is a little hard pan. Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, Valentine's Day, and of course it's great for Valentine's Day, but how often do you forget to tell your kids you love them? So every time you serve them something heart-shaped, they're going to know that Mom loves them a lot. So again, I'm going to just go ahead and spray that little heart pan with a little non-stick, and I'm going to use the rest of my batter and make little heart-shaped mini pancakes. The kids love them. Just fill those wells up. Neatness doesn't count. Good thing for me, huh? All right. There we go. These would be so great served with some fresh strawberries or berries. And of course, you can save that in the refrigerator for a day or two if you don't want to use it all the first day. We're going to go ahead and put that one in this right here. And again, always remember to spray the inside of the lid, but just spray it just before you close it. If you spray it 15 minutes ago, it all drips off. So just before I close the lid, give it that spray. Now, I guess I better set the timer. That pancake's going to take about 7 minutes. Same for those. I told you everything takes just about 7 minutes, so that's going to give me a little time to talk. You know, talking about non-stick spray, this is one of the best things you can have in your kitchen because it has a whole lot more uses than just keeping food sticking in your pots and pans. One of the things I use it for a lot is when I'm storing leftovers in my plasticware like Tupperware or Rubbermaid. If you spray the inside of the container before you put something like spaghetti sauce in there, not only does it come out a lot easier, but it doesn't stain it orange. So that's something to remember. Spray the inside of your leftover containers before you put tomatoey things and they won't stain anymore. Now, I'm going to serve this pancake when it's done with some fruit syrup. And of course, you can buy it in bottles at the store. But I'll tell you, there's a little recipe in one of the cookbooks I'm going to talk about later that tells you how you can take a box of Jell-O. You take this, I think it's a cup of sugar, a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch, and a little water, and you just stir it in a pan, and it makes any flavored fruit syrup that Jell-O comes in. So if you want cherry syrup, strawberry syrup, triple berry syrup, even lime syrup, you can make it. And it's great on your pancakes or your breakfast food. Surprise the kids with different flavored syrups. Okay, now while we're still on breakfast, let me show you another idea. This is the Trio Circle Pan, and it's perfect for poached eggs. You can poach 3 eggs in it, but I use it for lots of things. You can make perfectly round cookies in it. You can make little tiny cakes. There's lots and lots of ideas, but this one I'm going to make a breakfast. Now, as I said, you could obviously poach 3 eggs in there, or you could cook 3 biscuits, but I'm going to make breakfast for one. So in this one side, I've got 3 of those little smoky sausages. In the next side, I'm going to put a biscuit. Now, I love these little refrigerator biscuits. just for handy, quick, and you can keep them in the refrigerator after you've opened the package for a couple of days, so your kids can make themselves a quick breakfast. Just pop that into one of the wells. And the other one, I'm going to poach an egg. You know, poached eggs, when you had to make them the old-fashioned way where they were in water, were messy as heck. This makes it so much easier. And by the way, while we're talking about eggs, if you ever wondered how to tell if an egg is still fresh, here's a little hint. If you drop an egg into a cup of water, if it sinks, is good. If it floats, no bueno, don't eat it. Now, talking about cracking eggs, for years, my mother cracked the eggs on the edge of a bowl, and sometimes she'd get little eggshells in the food. When you crack an egg, if you crack it on the countertop with just one smart wrap just like that, you don't get all those tiny little broken pieces. It comes out just perfect, just like that. So we've got our poached egg ready to go. Now, I'm going to put it in one of these machines, but they're not quite ready. So let's talk about making things up ahead of time and storing them for later. You know, if you want to get a breakfast ready at night before you go to bed, go to RediSetGo.com, and you can go to the little store and order these covers that are perfectly shaped to fit on top of these pans. I'll put it on this one here so you can see. See, there's a little cutaway right there on that side, and it just flops right over there and snaps into place. So you can stack those in your refrigerator and have things ready-made so that when the kids come home from school, they can pop in a little after-school snack, or when they get up in the morning, your breakfast is ready to just go in, and it makes your life a lot easier. So work on getting things made ahead of time, and with the extra pans, it's great because you've always got extra pans to make your prep work. Okay, you ready to take our waffle? Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Now, I'm using my little silicone lifter, which again you can get at the store at RediSetGo.com. Now, here's one of those places where, because you can remove the plate, it makes it it makes it so much easier to plate the food. So I'm just going to turn this over, and there's our. Doesn't that look like a picture out of a magazine? And look at this, no cleanup. That just goes right in the dishwasher, so no cleanup. Now, I'm going to just put a little of my berry syrup on top of that. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. You guys ready to eat? And maybe a few fresh raspberries. Like I said, that looks like a picture out of a magazine, doesn't it? Now, how about our little heart-shaped muffins or pancakes? Look how cute those are. There isn't a kid alive that wouldn't love those for breakfast. Because, you know, kids are finger people. They like to pick stuff up and dip it in the syrup or whatever. But these are just the perfect size and shape to have a little pancake with their breakfast or something. And, you know, speaking of pancakes and biscuits, there's something you're going to want to keep on hand at your house like a staple. And that is this Heart Smart Bisquick. You cannot tell the difference between regular Bisquick and this, except it's so much healthier. And speaking of hearts, you want to watch your family's hearts too. You know, one of the things I love to do with this, when I buy fresh strawberries, and sometimes you've got strawberries and no shortcake, here's a quickie for you. Just follow the recipe on the back for the shortcake, except substitute the milk with some Diet 7-Up. So put your Bisquick, some Diet 7-Up, stir it up to make like a little wet biscuit dough, and put it in your little heart shapes. Bake it for about 7 minutes and split them open and fill them with fresh strawberries, and they are delicious. So keep this on hand in your pantry because you're going to use Bisquick for a lot of the recipes with your Ready, Set, Go. Now let me get this breakfast in here to cook. And oh, I'm going to eat that waffle, I think. That looks delicious. Whoop, here we go. Close that lid. And that's going to be a complete breakfast in about 6 minutes, so we'll be back to check on it. Okay, our breakfast is done. Remember, when the bell rings, you need to turn off the machine. And oh, look at that. We've got our 3 little sausages and our biscuit. And I put a little fruit on the plate because, remember, you're supposed to have fruit with every meal. And here's our perfect poached egg, just like that. Now, who wouldn't love a breakfast like that? It's perfect proportions. It's not too much of anything. It's a good, nourishing breakfast, and it took 6 minutes in the Ready, Set, Go. Okay, I think we've covered breakfast. Now let's talk about lunchtime and after-school snacks. Now, I've got the quarter pan preheating in my Ready, Set, Go. This has got 4 little wedge-sized quarters, and this pan is absolutely perfect for my son's favorite snack, Pizza Burger Bites. Now, he's my baby, but he's 40 years old, and this is still his favorite. Now, what I've done is I've taken a Grand's biscuit. They come in the big can like this, and rolled it out just a little bit so it's got about a 5-inch circle there, and I've cut it into 4 little wedges, and I've got to put one in the bottom of each of those sections, just like that. Cooperate, you guys. Now, I'm going to add some meat, and in this case, it's going to be hamburger. Now, I got a little trick to show you. You know, I've been behind a lady at the butcher counter so many times that's ordered 5 pounds of hamburger wrapped up in 1 pound bags, and I know that lady goes home and puts them all in the freezer and then forgets to thaw one out before it's time for dinner. But think about what you use hamburger for. You make spaghetti sauce, you make tacos, you make sloppy joes, you make lasagna. All of these things start with brown ground beef. So why cook it 5 times? Take that whole 5 pounds home and cook it 1 time. Make your ground beef, drain off any fat, put it in a plastic bag, and store it in the freezer. Then anytime you need ground beef, it's already cooked, and you don't have that mess to clean up 5 times. Now, I keep a little bit in the refrigerator in my pizza box because it's just perfect when the kids want pizza burger. And I'm just going to put a little bit in there and mix it with a little pizza sauce. Now, this is simple and fast. And you can put this inside that biscuit. Is going to make like a closed, like a pizza pocket sandwich. But wait till you see how good these come out. Now, see, my biscuits are already starting to rise. I'm just going to put a little bit of that hamburger meat on top of each one of them. That's a little bit to me. You know, if you're going to eat, you might as well have plenty of beef in there. Okay, now these get topped with American cheese, hence the name Pizza Burger Bites. But I'm not going to put the cheese on quite yet because it in there for 7 minutes, it's almost going to burn. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and close this up and let them cook for about 5 minutes, and then I'm just going to add the cheese for the last 2 minutes. So spray the inside of that lid, close it up, and we'll set that timer for 5 minutes. Now, while those are cooking, let's show you this other pan. This is one of my favorites. This is the 2 ovals pan. And if you just look at it, you can see that it lends itself to all kinds of things like egg rolls or wraps. One of the things that I love it for is corn dogs, or what I'm going to make now, a calzone. But one lady wrote and told me that she bakes her cakes in here, the mini cakes. You know, used to bake them in just the half round. But she said when she served them to the kids, she cut them in half and gave them each half, and they complained that they were only getting a half a piece of cake. So by making them in here, it makes them smaller to begin with. Now for this one, I'm going to make you a corn dog, and I'm going to make you a calzone. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it with a little nonstick. And for the calzone, I'm going to use another one of those Grand's biscuits. But this time, you see, I've rolled it in kind of an oval instead of a round. And just let it drop right in there. And then all we have to do is fill it. Now, you could use, obviously, some pepperoni or sausage or any kind of filling you want. I'm just going to go ahead and use up this hamburger since I've already got it mixed up. And instead of the American cheese, which would make it a pizza burger, I'm going to go ahead and use mozzarella. Now, for convenience today, I am using pre-shredded mozzarella, but I never buy this usually because it's almost twice as much as buying it in the bulk, chub. So here's a simple thing for you if you hate grating cheese. Buy your mozzarella or any cheese you want to grate. Put it in the freezer, actually, for about 20 minutes before you grate it. And what it'll do, it'll grate really, really easily. It won't gum up and stick in the holes of the grater, and it grates really, really slick. So use that trick, and you won't mind grating cheese nearly as much. Now I've got some mozzarella on there. I think I'll just add a couple of little green peppers just for some vegetable. And there's our pizza ready for its cheese, but it's going to wait just a second. Now let me just tuck these tops up over here. What you want to do is get this to kind of close itself up around that meat and that cheese. And it's going to fight with me a little bit, but that's okay. Those biscuits are nice and sticky. There you go. You see, we got a nice little close on there. Now, on the other side, I think there isn't a kid in the world that doesn't love corn dogs. So watch how easy a corn dog is. I've just got some hot dogs here. Now, these are long and kind of thin, and you can see they're actually a little bit long for there. So I'm just going to lop off the end, and the dog would appreciate that anyway. And I've got a little stick. These are just some little bamboo skewers that I've found. And I'm just going to stick it right in the end so it will actually be a corn dog. And that'll fit right in there just like that. Now I've got a little nonstick sprayed in there. I'm going to start with just a little bit of cornbread mix. And this is just a little Jiffy cornbread mix. You can buy those little Jiffies in the box and mix it up according to the package directions. Pop it in there. Wedge your little corn dog down in there. And put just a little more cornbread on the top, just like so. And that's going to cook in about 7 minutes and make a great little corn dog. So we'll pop him in over here. Now, because of that stick, it's going to stick out a little bit. But you'll see when I close the lid, all you got to do is spray it with nonstick first. And make sure the stick is just off to the side of that lid where it wants to close. And those are going to take about 7 minutes. Now, you heard that ding, it means it's ready for its cheese. You see how they're cooking up, the biscuits are risen, and the meat's all sizzling. All you got to do now is cut that cheese into your 4 little wedges as well, and pop one of those right on top of there. And in 2 more minutes, we will have hot pizza burger bites. Oh, wait till you see. Okay, our pizza burger bites are done. Oh, and yes, they are. If my son was here, I know where he'd be right now. Now look at these. This is just a great after-school snack. And I think I can just pop them right out of there. 1, 2. Oh, they smell so good. I'll lift that one out. Can't see where I'm going. There we go. Now we'll arrange them so it looks artful. That's the difference between real life and home. Do those look delicious or what? The ooey gooey cheese and the burgers. And I want to show you the bottom of that biscuit is nice and brown. All right, let's check our corn dog and our calzone. Wow. Have you joined the Perfect Pan Club yet? If you haven't, RediSetGo.com. Join up and have all this fun. I want to show you how these come out. Now, here's our calzone. And look at this. I want you to see it's brown on the bottom and on the top. Here's our corn dog. Let me see if I can get this guy out of here. Woo, right there. And we're going to put a little bit of mustard on the top, because who doesn't love mustard on a corn dog? That looks great. The kids love them. And look at this calzone. Where's my knife? Are you ready for this? Oh, yes. Look at that. Ooey gooey, filled with good stuff. That's delicious. Get some little paper dishes. Nothing to wash. Now, I said I'm not through yet. I've got 2 more pans to show you. We'll be right back with dessert. Look at all these pans. It just inspires your creativity to make something new. And you know what? Every pan is good for dessert. Now, I'm going to show you a little bundt pan in a second, but just take a look. I used the little heart pan here to make these cute little individual heart cakes. These are red velvet cake with sour cream icing and the little red sprinkles. Perfect way to say I love you. Here I use 2 pans. I use the full round for the base and the bundt pan for the top, a layer of cherry pie filling inside, and it's like a black forest torte. But you know what? Pancakes in the waffle pan, make your chocolate chip pancakes. Use the little wedge pan for little mini tarts or scones. The possibilities are endless. You're just going to love being a member of the Perfect Pan Club, because this just keeps your creativity inspired and you'll love using them. And don't forget to get yourself some of these lids, because that way you can prep stuff in advance. So all you have to do is pop it into a preheated Ready, Set, Go. They just snap right on, just like this. So you can make something up in the morning and put it in the refrigerator, and at night when you come home, all you have to do is pop it in and it's ready to go. So let's do some dessert. You know, I love these pans for dessert because it kind of encourages portion control. If I bake a big cake, I will eat a whole cake. It will call me from the kitchen. Cake! So let me show you one of my favorite things to do, which is take a boxed cake mix and divide it into 3 portions, so I just make a third at a time. And it's perfectly designed for that, because just about every cake I've ever seen calls for 3 eggs. So if you use a third of it, you're only going to use 1 egg in your mix. Now, most of them, you can measure if you like, but most of the box cakes have just about 3 cups of powder in them. So I'm just going to take a cup of that cake mix and put it in my bowl. And it calls for 1 egg and 1 cup of water and a 1/3 cup of oil. Now, you know what? You're going to find that the Ready, Set, Go cooks so moist that in most cases, I leave out the oil. Do it if you want to. But I don't think you'll need the oil, and it still makes a beautiful, moist cake. Now, we need a 1/3 cup of water. I'm just going to eyeball it, because that's how I roll. And we're going to mix it up. Now, I'm going to show you how to make something a little bit special, not just a regular old cake. We're going to make a marble cake. You know, my mom and Dad used to play cards every Saturday night with another couple, and one week we'd be at their house, and the next week we'd be at our house, and we always had to make dessert. And my mom was famous for her marble cake, because it looks like you went to a lot of trouble, but it's really so simple. So all you do is mix up your cake mix just like this, and obviously if you have a mixer you can, but why mess up a bunch of stuff? You're just mixing up a 1/3 of that batter, just like that. Now all we're going to do now is take out about half of it and put it in another bowl. And in this half, I'm going to take and put 1 spoonful of this cocoa powder. Just use the unsweetened cocoa powder. just like that. And give that a stir. And that's going to turn that into chocolate. Now you can use a white cake if you're a purist and you want a pure, white and chocolate, but this is just a yellow cake and it works just fine. All right, there we go. Chocolate and yellow cake, and you see how long this is taking. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the little bundt pan, give it a spray with a nonstick, and what you want to do is just kind of put some blobs of chocolate here and there. One there, one there, one there. And then add your yellow part. And pour that right in on top. Now you see what this has done? It's made just exactly the right amount of cake for one little cake. So I don't have anything left over when I'm done. Look at that. Now to marble it, all you have to do is drag something through there to kind of mix them together. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use the back of my spatula here. Just kind of give it a little swirls and curls. And then we'll put the last of that chocolate right on the top. Just kind of pour it around. There we go. Now that's going to cook in about 7 minutes. So in it goes. Don't forget to spray the top. That's because I did that a lot of times, forgot. 7 minutes to cake. So think about it. You're sitting around watching TV and somebody says, don't you have some dessert? Yes, you do. In 7 minutes you can have a cake. And what did it take me? A minute to mix it up? So get the perfect pans. Make the perfect desserts. They're portion controlled. They're creative. Your friends will all be wondering how on earth you did this, and enjoy. Now, I'm going to come back with some more ideas in a few minutes. Okay, let's check our bundt cake. Oh, look at that. Now, of course, that's just the bottom. And it's nice, again, that you can take these out, because that way I can put my little doily on it and get it centered just right. Put my plate on top of that, and flip it. Oh, is that beautiful or what? Now watch this. I'm going to fill the center with some raspberries. Kind of looks like a relief map of the United States, South America, North America. Little powdered sugar. Powdered sugar fixes everything.